Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mark and today we are on day 12 of our pick our animal from a jar and paint it or draw it or sketch it. So hopefully we get a good animal today. I don't know about this, but we have the mantis shrimp draw today. Wow. Anyway, let's look for some references. But before we do, kindly, if you've stumbled upon this video and you don't happen to be subscribed, kindly subscribe and like the video so YouTube knows to to recommend it to other people. And thank you very much. So here I am back on unsplash.com and having a really hard time because I can barely predict when the internet decides not to work. Now it's loading pictures of praying mantis, not a mantis shrimp. So this looks like a job for Pinterest. Mantis shrimp. This is like the world's most colorful animal. Let me show you some pictures. Look at that. On the day, I planned for the day was to like sketch something in black and white and then like highlight one part of the photo in color. How can I do that? The mantis shrimp. How do I even draw this? Like it feels like it's all over the place. Why would you get this tattooed on you? My gosh. I'm really mad at Mark from the past for including this in our jar. Maybe he thought it'd be fun. Why not draw a mantis shrimp? It would be fun. Let me look for something on Wikimedia. See, internet things. But that's happening. Let's look at mantis shrimp facts. I know it has the fastest punch in the world. And pound for pound, it's like the strongest animal, or has the strongest punch, because its punch even generates heat. That's the extent of our knowledge. And how in the world? Let's look at the tattoo again. This is how the internet embarrasses me. So hold on. Okay, so we're back. And after that very embarrassing time looking for reference, here we have mantis shrimp. Let me just show it on the screen. So I'm going to keep this on my laptop screen and we are going to find a way to draw this thing. Maybe do that impressionistic thing that people used to do in the day. I think some people still do it. I've never done something like that, but it's always a first time for everything. So I'm using PureF for my references. I'm just going to keep it like really large on my other screen. We can sketch on this other one. Okay. So let's begin. Find a suitable sketching brush. We use this flat gradient brush. Or maybe let us use this flat color pencil. No, waxy color pencil, flat color pencil with tilt. I don't know. Let's just use something. Okay, so this is an interesting animal to sort of start my day with. Start with its big eyes, the stalk of a head, and I'm just going to sort of scribble everything, trying to think of its parts as cylinders and spheres. Then of course I'll come back and refine some of these. The only problem with this animal is it's very colorful, and it will be a disservice if I don't do it in color. A missed opportunity. Here we have its arms, exaggerating some things. These are the things it uses to punch things. Confess I've never really drawn sea life. I drew an orca once. That's a killer whale. That was a long time ago. And whales are sort of like just tubes of flesh and fat. And never also really had seafood. So this is like, I had prawns once. What are prawns? Prawns, shrimp. I don't know. They were pink, they were salty. They were meh. Not the best thing I've ever eaten. I like fresh water things. By that I just mean a tilapia. Tilapia is the OG of fish, in my opinion. Very biased. Very true, because it's my channel. Anyway guys, how have you been? Welcome to the drawing today. If you're new, I'm using Krita. Krita is a free app you can get on krita.org. So it acts like Photoshop. In some ways it might be better than Photoshop. And in some ways it might be trying to be Photoshop. But it's a good app, especially for a free thing, like free. You tell I have no idea what I'm drawing. I'm just going through some of these It has way too many legs. It's not feasible for a creature to have these many legs. I mean, where are you going? Why do you need so many? I'm about to ask Jesus some questions. We have those, and then we have other legs at the bottom. So it's walking on these spindly ones, and these others are just there for what? For why? Why? Let me sketch in the environment a bit. I think it will help me hide some parts of this animal. So there's our sketch, the layer on top. Let's try and do something, cause my goodness, this animal. Did you know we know more about space than we do about the ocean? And there are people out there looking for aliens. Well, they've been here all along, just under the sea. But anyway, it's fine. So was it last week that the United States revealed that aliens exist? The government actually admitted that aliens do exist, and everyone was like, okay, that's fine. People are tired. Just don't care anymore. I wonder what they look like. Probably like this mantis shrimp. Maybe they're humanoid, like in Signs. Do you guys watch Signs? Signs is a Mel Gibson movie. No, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie starring Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. There's another leg? My gosh. Why? I think because this animal is like so out there. This one, my goodness. I don't even know what to say. The train of thought just disappeared, because this might be the most complex thing I've ever decided to even sketch. And yet, here is another leg. Where are you going? Why do you need all these things? Wonder if this animal is toxic or like poisonous, because you can't be this colorful and not be psycho with poison and venom. I know it attacks its prey with a punch, and it's like very aggressive. But what is its natural predator? Can anyone tell me in the comments below? I don't think David Attenborough said it in that thing I saw. Just saw it smashing a crab. And of course, it has some other legs over here. But I'm going to ignore these, because I don't have the time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that today. In some ways, I'm glad I picked this on a Saturday, because imagine picking this animal on a Monday, or worse, Tuesday. So let me just thicken this line a bit. You have a bit of environment over here. I confess, guys, I don't really care for environments, so I haven't practiced them a lot. And mostly, even for these animals, it's only that they're very close to humans, at least the ones with an actual skeleton. Mostly I draw people. Mostly naked people, but people nonetheless. And environments are really strange to me. They're strange, animal, unintended. Maybe I'll get better one day. It's baby steps. So, because I enjoy merging things, I have merged both sketch layers, and let's do some painting. Let's go to our painting bit and find something. Impressionism. What does this do? I see a green. Let's go greenish yellow. Something like this. Let's see what this. I do not like it. I do not like that. Wet textured, wet rough, wet knife, wet bristles, dry textured. Let's use this one. Dry textured creases. It's its name. It comes with the app. So if you download Krita, you should have this. It's part of your brushes. Maybe I should have started with the background. Let's just do this first. I like the texture. There's a blue, a really bright blue, like a turquoisey blue. And the blue just stops. Then we have an orange, really dark orange rings, just to make everything orange. And then we go to the reds. These reels have a reddish. And back to the greens. Go to yellow, bit of greenish yellow here. Try and do that. And then back to a bit of blue, but very desaturated for this part of the arm. Then some parts of this are white whitish yellow. Maybe I should have done this first. Oh well, make everything that whitish yellow. Then we have a grayish tone to the eye with a slight blue. Corners the eye rounds out. Let me try and do that, especially for this part. Ooh, it's nice. So because it's a wet bristle brush, it sort of is more saturated. It's saturated a bit deep. It blends the colors together, which is strange but also kind of cool. So I think what I do want is a dry brush, dry bristles. Maybe I can shift between the two, dry versus wet. The yellowish orange with this is this strip in between, and then make it smaller and a bit brighter. And we have some of this action going on. Probably should have saved this for last, but no, not today. So the color I'm seeing is a bit of red, but slightly towards the oranges, something like this. And then I can come in these parts of the shrimp, add the colors here, trying hard not to interrupt the other red, though actually this should be on top of that. This white should do something like this. So I'm hitting the really orangey parts first, because some of these other parts are kind of red. So here we have very desaturated blue in these folds and orangey yellow tint as well. Let's just smudge some of these, or as is known in krita, blend. And then we go back to the reds. This is the dry bristles, yes. Back to the reds and now do legs. And then I'll come back with a darker red to do the slight hue changes I'm seeing. The cool thing I'm finding is the brush actually layers on top. So if you can see that on screen, the more I paint on top of this, the more pigment I'm adding to the painting, which is kind of cool. I think it sort of mimics actual painting in traditional media. Maybe by the end of this krita discovery, I'll be able to draw actual oils or watercolor. Sad part though is those mediums, traditional media does not have the undo button. That's really scary, especially for something like watercolor. Color is fickle, seems very frustrating, though my wife loves it, so it might be a viable thing to explore, though I don't know. I like the effect of watercolor, but actually doing it, not so much. So in the reds, there's some dark areas, seem like the color of blood, really dark, deoxygenated blood. And for this entire piece, been doing it by just looking at the major shapes, trying not to be overwhelmed with the complexity of shrimp, as it is very complex. Just looking at these major shapes, a bit darker here on the side and more dark, and maybe smudge it a bit. Then we need more orange. We don't, but I feel like we do need more orange in these parts. And then slight bit of white or non-white just to highlight some of these legs. And then that dark thing, you need some things like this, really make it stand out. And then I need this red, highlight this edge, add a bit of sauce over here. And for the green, I need to go a bit dark, avoiding our dots. And then probably for this environment, I'll start with the base of this sandy color. Some sand over there and some sand underneath here. Most of it random blue. We save this before everything gets lost. And a slightly darker colors over here. And then we smudge something. Maybe not everything, but most of it. I could have added a blur layer or a blur effect, but I think I like smudging. And then on top of this top layer, we add in some of this sand texture, especially here. So this is the dry bristles eroded. Go a bit dark for this, some of these parts, and slightly lighter for others. And so now we decide whether we keep some of the sketch layer or we erase it, we remove it. No, we are not removing it. Definitely not removing it. So for this other layer, we just add in something to finish our shrimp. Smudge some of these. Probably for the shrimp, let's add a bit of saturation to make it pop a bit. And for the background, let's decrease the brightness. Same for this, and probably on a layer on top of everything. I think this is a screen, I mean the equivalent of screen in Photoshop. So let's use this glaze brush, add in some, first of all, I don't know what I'm doing, so keep that in mind. We are experimenting. And something like this, and then decrease the opacity a bit, and then add a filter, blur, Gaussian blur, something like that. And then because the light is touching some of these things, I think some parts of the shrimp should be in shadow. Let me add a transparency mask and remove some of the light from under the shrimp. And then probably with the clipping group, let's try adding just a bit of shadow. Use that layer clipping group, multiply, slightly less opacity. What is going on? Okay, so clipping group, let me add a shadow based on, that's the problem. Okay, based on its colors. With this layer, increase its opacity just a bit, and there we have Mantis shrimp. So probably here I want to erase not everything, but just some of these harsher lines, some of those, bit of that, bit of this. Anyway, there's our shrimp, the shadow for the eyeballs. There we go. There we go. There's our Mantis shrimp, and our drawing is complete. Probably need more with light, minimal light, don't know. Definitely need some post-processing, especially for this shadow thing I added. Definitely not the vibe here or here. That, not that, this, not that, not that. Oh, it's this. Okay, so we need to make this a bit smoother, I think. Maybe erase some of the mask. Erase or paint? Paint some of the mask using an airbrush. Paint some of it off. I think that's better. Save. And we're done for the day. We are done for the day. Yeah, so that's our Mantis shrimp. And I hope it turned out nicely, because we are not doing that again. Not anytime soon. This was way out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad I did not try and cheat the system and pick another animal. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one, which is tomorrow. A great day, great night, great evening, great afternoon. 2 thumbs up. Bye.